This right here is my first smartwatch since the early days of wearing Fitbits. Since Samsung was offering these Galaxy Watch 4s on a discount with the purchase of a Z Flip 3 or a Fold 3, I figured I would grab one and see if I liked it. For the holidays, these are on an epic discount as well, so if you want one, now is a great time to buy one. By the way, I also have a referral code for 5% off your order on Samsung's website. Click the link down below in the description and use the coupon code because yay discounts! I never like paying full price. I will always use a coupon code if there is one available. Last year I gifted my husband the Galaxy Watch 3 Titanium and he loves the thing, and I kind of felt some FOMO, so I got one this year as well. And you know what else I got? Crossclave from SpiderOak. SpiderOak is my amazing sponsor for this episode and they have made a wonderful tool. And in fact, I did want to mention I have been a customer using SpiderOak for I want to say almost a decade. I love their products. Your data and your conversations deserve to be private and secure, whether you are collaborating with team members for your business or you are chatting with the people that matter most to you. If you're at home or at work, you need a solution that you can trust. With Crossclave from SpiderOak, your data comes first with an uncompromised focus on security and privacy. That means whether you are chatting with friends and family via text, or you're sharing files with team members, or calling somebody in another country, or maybe you're making video calls to your family to celebrate the holidays. Everything is encrypted before it leaves your device, so not even Crossclave can see what you are doing, unlike other file storage and sharing tools currently on the market. Crossclave uses top security and encryption technology, so those personal photos or important work documents are kept private. Nobody can snoop on your chats, voice, or video calls. Crossclave is clean and it's super easy to use with no trackers, there's no ads, there's no spammy messages that show up, and nobody is monitoring your data to sell you things either. The best part is they offer free chat and video calling with no hidden fees and no fine print. Just 100% clear and reliable communications for a whole group or one-on-one. And for the nerds out there like me, because I always like looking up this kind of information, yes, they in fact do have a white paper and a data sheet on their website if you want to read up on how Crossclave works. Check it out for free by going over to spideroak.com/crossclave. That's spideroak.com/crossclave. Collaborate securely with the people who matter most to you with Crossclave. Thank you so much to SpiderOak for supporting my content, and now let's chat about this smartwatch, shall we? You will see a flicker on my top-down camera just because the refresh rate is different. When you are actually looking at this in person, you do not see any kind of refresh rate, so keep that in mind when I'm talking about this. So the specific one I got is the Galaxy Watch 4 aluminum in pink gold, but you could also buy black, green, or silver, and it costs $249.99 MSRP, but there is a sale going on currently. However, I won't quote that sale because I don't know when you're gonna watch this video. The stainless steel Watch 4 Classic comes in black or silver. That one costs $349.99 or $399.99 if you choose to add LTE, but Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are built into both options. Again, there is a sale going on at time of recording. Now, the sizing options for the case are either 40 millimeters or 44 millimeters for aluminum. There's also 42 or 46 millimeters for the classic version. The watch bands are also customizable in terms of color and material along with sizes. Now personally, I am glad that I went with the smallest size. As you can see, I have a very, very small wrist. I have like child-sized wrists going on here. So this small casing looks really nice on my wrist. It doesn't look like a giant uncomfortable brick. It's very comfortable and it looks quite natural. I really appreciate that. I also switched out the original wristband with this third-party one off of Amazon. It was really inexpensive. I'll put the link down below as well, because the original silicone one was straight up giving me a rash on my wrist and it was very itchy, so I actually had some red marks going on underneath the wristband, so I had to change it out immediately. I honestly couldn't stand it, so I had to get something else almost immediately because I don't even have irritated skin. I can use pretty much any lotions or any like moisturizers or whatever I want, any makeup. I don't have irritated skin, but The wristband for this watch that came with it, the silicone one, it definitely irritated my wrist. You'll notice that this Super AMOLED display is fairly small, but it's really easy to see and it gets very bright as well. The wearable app is built in and downloadable watch faces are pretty abundant, but you can always look for more on the Google Play Store. They offer quite a bit of customization, and you can add these things called complications to the edges of the clock face, like weather or fitness information or data from your calendar, etc., etc. By the way, if you are not subscribed yet, click the button down below and check out all the different ways you can support this free content, which will always be free, via the description below as well. Google Wear OS on here is designed by both Samsung and Google, and you can actually download some Google Play Store applications on it. Super easy. I will get into the health sensors as well as the battery life and usage, but first, let's chat about this operating system. I gotta say, it's pretty zippy to get around. The screen is really responsive to my touches. It's a little bit hard to use with longer nails, but I think this would be easier on the Classic since that display is recessed, but you do get a physical dial instead of a touch display for swiping the menus. In many ways, it kind of feels like a mishmash of Google's Android and Samsung's Tizen. Unfortunately, Google Assistant is not on this device, but Bixby is by default. Bixby can understand me pretty well enough for simple tasks, but anything more complicated would best be saved for Assistant on my phone, which I'm currently using the Pixel 6 Pro. Now, this smartwatch is Android only, and you cannot use it with an iOS device. Some of the device's features, like the ECG, can only be used with a Samsung phone. Many of the features can only be used if you download Samsung Health. Most of the health and fitness tiles, to be precise, so you do have to download that on your Android phone and log into a Samsung account. So if you don't want to have an account with Samsung, or maybe you don't want to sign up for one, or maybe you just don't agree with how much information you may be giving to Samsung, then you would be missing out on some of those features that have been advertised. Some of Google's fitness apps can also be downloaded from the Google Play Store alongside the Samsung Health app. It is really easy to use though. You can swipe right for notifications, swipe left for your tiles, or you can swipe up and down for your menu and the full app tray screen. The two buttons on the side are also used for navigations. You can also swipe around the edge of the display to skip over to a specific tile quickly, and you can also rearrange the tiles and the menu in the Wearables app. The electrical impedance sensor is new on the Galaxy Watch 4, and that one can measure body water content. So this can determine body fat percentage, muscle mass, and water. ECG, again, can only be used with that Samsung Health Monitor app, which is different from the Health app, and that can only be downloaded on a Samsung phone. That stinks because I can't use it with my Pixel phone, but I could use it on my Fold 3 or my Flip 3 or my S21. So if I wanted to carry around one of those devices and be able to use it every day, then I would be forced to use a Samsung phone. The battery on this thing is pretty tiny. I keep always on display completely off, and I put it on a charger in the mornings when I'm getting ready. I do prefer to sleep with it so it can actually track my sleep. If I forget to put it on the charger, it's dead halfway through the day. The most you can get on this thing is maybe 2 days, and that's totally pushing it. I hate that the charger is proprietary, so I never want to take it with me on a trip because then I would have to remember the only charger I have for this thing unless I want to buy extras, but it's proprietary. I keep it on my nightstand, so I don't want to move my nightstand and unplug it every time I'm going to go travel somewhere. So it kind of just stays at home. Third-party Qi chargers might kinda sorta work, but there's no guarantee. I did test this with a Nomad charger and it kinda tried, but eventually it just stopped charging altogether, so it does not work on Qi chargers really well. It uses Wireless Power Consortium-based technology, and while that industry group does back Qi, the watch does not fully support it. So this watch is a step in the right direction for any Android user to wear. It's good, but it's not great. I am disappointed that it's still so heavily Samsung and Bixby, and the battery is kind of small, and you lose some functionality if you do not have a Samsung phone. It might be worth looking into alternatives from the likes of Michael Kors, Fossil. There's a few other brands if you aren't a huge fan of Samsung, but you still want Android compatibility, because all of those do use Google's Wear OS in some way, shape, or form. Now, if you do have a Samsung phone and you like Bixby, then this is an excellent option. It's compatible straight out of the box, and if you have a Samsung account, it's really easy to set up and tie into your current setup of apps. I've experienced using this with both my Z Flip 3, that's where I originally set it up, as well as my Pixel, and it's definitely better with the Samsung phone just because you can use all of the functions. So that brings the question, what would my wish list be for a smartwatch with Android compatibility? My wish list would absolutely include Google Assistant and a larger battery, USB-C charging or Qi charging, preferably both. It feels like they tried, but they took it out of the oven way too fast and it's not fully cooked. It's like half-baked. We have seen rumors about a Google Pixel Watch, but nothing substantive right now. So hopefully in 2022, that will bring us like this high-quality flagship Google Watch of our dreams, or at least my dreams. I do have some other Android content over here, and you can always subscribe for more tech reviews and tutorials. There's a lot of other neat little things you can do with this watch that I did not fully cover, like sleep tracking, which I mentioned. There's also camera controls, so hit me up if you want me to do a separate pro tips video about how you can use this watch. Thank you again to SpiderOak for sponsoring this episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.